Imagine standing miles away, watching a massive dam suddenly collapse in seconds. Water, mud, and destruction rushing faster than you can run. Some of these disasters were caught on camera, and what those cameras captured is honestly terrifying. Before we begin, comment below, which one do you think caused the most destruction? And if you enjoy real-world extreme content like this, make sure to subscribe, because what you're about to see only gets worse. Here are 10 dam failures caught on camera, starting from moments you can't believe happened, to disasters that should have never happened at all. Number 10. Ice dam break, Vermont. 0:35 to 1:50, a peaceful morning walk that turned into something almost unreal. A man in Vermont casually filming a river, when suddenly a massive surge of water appears out of nowhere. At first, it doesn't look dangerous, but then the current keeps rising. Chunks of ice violently crashing into each other, rushing downstream with unstoppable force. This wasn't a normal flood. It was an ice dam break. Upstream, frozen river water had been trapped for days, and when temperatures suddenly rose, the entire ice barrier collapsed at once, releasing everything. The water level surges, the sound becomes overwhelming, and within seconds, the calm river turns into chaos. It's unpredictable, it's sudden, and it's incredibly dangerous. But that's just a natural event. What happens next involves something much bigger and far more destructive. Number 7. Nam Ao Dam, Laos. After days of heavy rain, the land was already saturated. But no one expected the dam to fail this quickly. From a distance, people watch from a cliff as muddy water begins rushing downriver. Within seconds, it intensifies. A construction site below suddenly becomes ground zero. Heavy machinery operators panic, trying to reverse away from the incoming flood. Horns blare, engines struggle, but it's already too late. The water surges forward, swallowing vehicles, dragging everything in its path. Entire farmlands are destroyed. Freshly planted crops completely wiped out. And even years later, many families were still waiting for compensation. This wasn't just a flood. It was a disaster that changed lives overnight. And yet, this still wasn't the worst. Number 9. LESHAN landslide dam impact, China. Road workers thought they were safe. Standing near a dam, watching the rain, when suddenly, the mountain above them collapses. A massive landslide crashes down, bringing trees, rocks and debris at full speed. The impact hits the dam instantly. Workers freeze. Some run, others just stare in shock. The force is unbelievable. The dam, designed to hold back water, was never meant to withstand something like this. Nature doesn't just break rules, it ignores them completely. Flooding quickly follows, and nearby, even a 1,200-year-old statue was nearly swallowed by rising water. But if you think landslides are unpredictable, wait until you see what happens when a dam fails without any warning at all. Number 6. AJKA red mud disaster, Hungary. This wasn't just water. This was toxic.
In Hungary, a tailings dam holding industrial waste suddenly gave way. No explosion, no warning, just collapse. A wave of red toxic sludge floods nearby towns. Streets turn crimson. Homes submerged in chemical waste. People try to escape, but the mud moves fast. Burning skin on contact, causing injuries instantly. Even animals weren't spared. Entire neighborhoods were covered as if a chemical ocean had been unleashed. Over 1 million cubic meters of toxic material spreading across everything. Hospitals filled with victims suffering chemical burns. And yet, production at the plant resumed just days later. Think about that. But even this is nothing compared to what happens when millions of cubic meters collapse at once.
Number 8. SARDOBA Dam, Uzbekistan.
6 o'clock to 7:20. 5 days of relentless storms. Water levels rising. Pressure building behind the dam. Then, failure. A single wall collapses and everything spills out. Nearly 1 billion cubic meters of water rushing into farmland. From above, you see it clearly. Water bursting through the structure, spreading endlessly across the landscape. Homes collapse. Fields vanish. Entire villages turn into flooded ruins. Authorities tried to redirect the flow, opening channels, hoping to control the damage. But it only made things worse. The flood expanded even further, crossing borders, destroying everything in its path. And the cost to repair? Hundreds of millions of dollars. But money doesn't fix what people lost. And the next disaster proves that sometimes humans are the real problem.
Number 4. AUBURN Coffer Dam, USA.
7:20 to 8:40. This dam was never supposed to fail, because it was never supposed to exist like this. The AUBURN project was meant to control flooding. Instead, it became a disaster waiting to happen. Heavy rainfall filled the temporary dam beyond capacity. Water begins to overflow. At first, slowly. Then, faster. The structure, made of loose soil, starts to erode, and once erosion begins, there's no stopping it. The water cuts deeper, breaking into the reservoir itself. Suddenly, half the dam is gone. Officials rush to act, lowering water levels downstream just in time to avoid something far worse. This was a warning, a clear sign. But history shows warnings are often ignored.
Number 3. Uttarakhand Glacial Flood, India.
High in the Himalayas, something massive breaks loose. A combination of rock, ice, and snow crashes down the mountain. The impact melts ice instantly, creating a deadly surge of water. From a distance, it looks like clouds moving through the valley, but it's not clouds. It's destruction. The sound, low, deep, and terrifying. The flood rushes forward, destroying everything below. Hydropower facilities, workers, infrastructure, all caught in seconds. And then, it hits another dam, breaking through reinforced concrete like it's nothing. Nature doesn't need permission. It just takes. But now, we move into disasters that could have been prevented. Number 5. Mariana Dam, Brazil. Millions of cubic meters of mining waste, held back by one structure. Until it wasn't. The dam collapses, releasing toxic sludge that travels for hundreds of miles. Entire villages disappear. One town completely cut off. Rescuers couldn't even reach survivors because roads were buried. Water supplies contaminated. Ecosystems destroyed. And the worst part, there were warnings. Reports years earlier pointing out structural issues. Ignored. And the result? A humanitarian disaster. But this wasn't the last time this company would be involved in something like this. Not even close. Number 2. Brumadinho Dam, Brazil. January 25th, 2019. Workers sitting down for lunch. Everything seems normal. Then, the ground collapses. The entire dam gives way. A massive wave of mud and debris surges forward instantly. No time to react, no time to run. The footage is chilling. An entire hillside turning into a moving wall of destruction. The wave moves fast, engulfing buildings, sweeping through forests, destroying everything. Over 270 lives lost. Most of them, workers. This wasn't just a failure. It was a tragedy that should never have happened. And yet, there's one more. Number 1. Edenville Dam, USA. 100-year-old dam, already weakened after years of poor maintenance. Then came the rain. Heavy, relentless rain. The structure couldn't handle it. At first, just a small trickle, water leaking through the earth. A warning sign. Captured on camera, then suddenly the entire embankment collapses. Mud, grass, water, all giving way at once. A massive surge released downstream, forcing entire communities to evacuate. 2 dams failing in sequence. A chain reaction. Investigations later revealed this could have been prevented. Shortcuts in construction, decades of neglect, ignored risks. And in the end, the dam didn't just fail. It proved a point. Sometimes, the biggest disasters aren't caused by nature. They're caused by us. If you made it this far, you've just seen some of the most terrifying dam failures ever recorded. Which one shocked you the most? Comment below. I read every single one, and if you want to see more extreme places, dangerous disasters, and real-world events you were never meant to witness, subscribe now, because the next video will be even more intense.